My name is Greg McKenzie, and I'm the President CEO of Silverstone Mining. Silverstone Mining is a Mexican, soon-to-be silver producer. We're a few months away from being in production. We've targeted the second quarter, and everything's on schedule. And then we have a second asset, which is really our larger asset, and that's San Diego. San Diego was the asset that I came into the company on 5 years ago. And, right now we're focused on getting La Parrilla back into production, and then we will be able to turn more attention onto San Diego. So my background, for those of you who don't know, I was a former investment banker, worked with Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, as it was then known, in the 90s, going into the 2000s, and CIBC World Markets. I was an M&A banker in New York, and after 9/11 came back home to Canada and worked with Haywood Securities as the MD in the Toronto office for many years, doing mining deals. We had done numerous financings and advisory work for silver companies when silver was $5 all the way up to $50. And always believed in my mind, going through the 2010s, that silver would have another run. And, was preaching that message for many years, took this company over midway through 2020, and we had a really large silver resource at the time. And our idea was that if we delivered on the ground, we got it financed, and continued to do all the drilling that needed to be done to advance the San Diego deposit, we would be very successful because it was such a large resource. And we would also have another way of being successful in the silver price re-rating. So it was a tough message for a few years, telling people that silver has a clear path to go back to $50. When silver was hovering between 18 and 24, it was hardly believable. But then, all within the space of a year, we've not only taken out $50, but we've gone much, much higher. So why don't we start the presentation here, and we'll go to slide number 1. Okay, so on the far left, the first column there, you can see that La Parrilla is fully financed and going through the rehabilitation process of the plant. This was a former producer. When First Majestic started operations in Mexico, La Parrilla was their very first mine. And they did so well with La Parrilla that they were able to generate significant cash out of this asset, and they were able to bootstrap themselves into buying other projects and building what they have now, $10+ billion market cap company. Nothing wrong with a small asset, but as you grow as a big producer, you tend to focus on much bigger assets, and so that's what they did. We are targeting to put this back into production, as I mentioned, in the second quarter. And you look at the history, though, they produced 34 million ounces of silver equivalent from La Parrilla from 2006 to 2019. So very successful. One of the things that we've done to put the financing package together was we did the equity in 2025, and we also brought Samsung in 2025. And so we want to talk to you a little bit about that as we move forward here. Second column, we show that this mine already had $150 million of in-place infrastructure that we were able to acquire when silver prices were 18 to 24 bucks. So back in 2023, when we acquired it, there wasn't as much interest, obviously, in silver as there is today. So it was a very good deal, and we're very happy that we got it at that time. We are currently expanding the sulfide circuit to by 25%. It'll go to 1,250 tons per day. And importantly, we are fully permitted. A lot of the companies that you'll meet with or have seen permitting is a significant hurdle for them, and it can typically take anywhere from a year to 2 years to get a permit. Well, La Parrilla is fully permitted. It's important also to see here that in the third column, we've last week initiated further drilling at La Parrilla. We were very successful in the first 2 years of drilling, and then most of 2025 we had to focus on the financing and ramping up, getting people, etc. And now we're back drilling again. So as we move forward, you'll see additional results coming out, expanding the resource base at La Parrilla. And then in the last column there, San Diego, as I mentioned, is the third largest undeveloped silver resource in Mexico. And it's really big. We've drilled between 2020 and 2022, we did several thousand meters of drilling. And the drill holes are bottoming in mineralization at 1,100 meters. So these are deep holes and strong mineralization throughout. It's a skarn deposit, very strong opportunity there at San Diego, and we're excited to be able to get back to it. Here's our capital structure. We have about 1 billion shares fully diluted, so kind of like an Australian cap structure. Unfortunately for us, we had to carry the mine on care and maintenance when very few people cared about silver, so we had to issue a lot of equity. But now we're churning through all those shares. The share price has gone from, I think we're up 4 or 5x in 2025 with operations on the horizon and a significant additional re-rating to come. So our market cap is about 400 plus million. We have over $34 million in the bank, and a lot of in-the-money warrants for about another $52 million. Some of our major shareholders, we have First Majestic at 19%. They always intended to be at 19% when we did the deal back in 2023. That's what their stated objective was. And Eric Sprott is the famous precious metals investor, invested in a lot of the companies here today. He owns 11% and is our largest individual shareholder. We are located for both of our assets in Durango State. You can see La Parrilla is very close to the capital city of Durango City. It's only about a 45-minute drive on the highway. And then we have our San Diego asset that is further north and east. Importantly, you can see we're on that very prolific trend, that geological trend, where you can see all these pickaxes are mines. There are 23 operating mines in Durango State and growing, and it has a very strong mining culture. The people have been mining there for almost 500 years. So everything you basically need to operate a mine is locally available. So we are privileged to be operating in Durango. Here you can see the mine. Everything's already set up. It was, well built by First Majestic and well maintained over these years. And so it's what makes for a very efficient rehabilitation and startup. I'd like to point out here that we are silver rich. In the history of the production here at this operation, it was approximately 2/3 silver contribution and then 1/3 lead and zinc. And so with the re-rating in the silver price, that silver contribution is going to go up over 80%. So if you want leverage to silver, this is a great place to get it in our stock. Another important feature is that we were able to sign up with Samsung. This was an 11-month process. We had all the major traders involved in our negotiation. We took 3 to the final round and settled up doing a deal with Samsung. They're a great counterparty to have on your register. It's a market deal, so we do get the market price, and it's a 2-year offtake. They will buy all of our lead silver concentrate, and they'll buy all of our zinc concentrate. We recently announced additional drilling that we're doing. This commenced last week, and the drilling is intended to, there's some infill drilling that we will do and other exploration targets, and so expect to see some notes or news releases on that as we move forward. So on the right side of the screen, what's happening right now? So rehabilitation of the plant and the mine is well underway. We have over 150 people on site every day, and every week we're hiring more as we ramp up to our full contingent of individuals. The additional drilling is being done, as I mentioned. The expansion of the sulfide circuit to 1,250 tons a day, that's ongoing. You'll be seeing some news releases on that in the coming weeks and months. And then looking to commence operations in the second quarter. We are on time and we're on budget. We should talk a little bit about San Diego. As I mentioned, this was the asset. When I took over the company in 2020, this was the asset that the prior management team had in the company. And at that time, they had published a 43-101 in 2013, a very large resource, 210 million ounces of silver equivalent at much lower silver prices. And in the SGS 43-101 report, there's a section where they talk about additional potential where they identified another 20 to 50 million tons at 100 to 150 grams per ton. Now, adding all this together, the geologists calculate that this is the third largest undeveloped resource in Mexico. So we are excited about being able to get back to this operation or this project. And it is our belief that we're getting zero value for it in our share price today. So everybody's focused on getting La Parrilla into production, and we understand that, makes sense. And as we deliver on that, then once we are generating cash flow, then we can turn our attention back to San Diego and start returning value for shareholders here. Why is San Diego so interesting? So on the left side of the screen, you can see what the geological model of San Diego when we took it over. You can see the red ellipses. Those were the target areas that we saw and areas that we needed to drill. And so between 2020 and 2022, we drilled up those areas and we were very successful. You can see that we were able to delineate on the left side if you look on the right side, the 22 geological model, and just on the left side of the Fernandez zone, you can see we outlined 500 meters of vertical mineralization. That's all new. That's all discovery. And it's not in any resource, and that's, we want to be able to follow up on that. Also in hole 2157, you can see right from surface we hit 72 grams over 273 meters. That's 3 football fields. So a lot more to follow up here, strong mineralization, and looking forward to being able to return value to shareholders for this, what we think is a mammoth resource. So that's really our presentation there. Appreciate you coming and listening. There's 3 reasons to buy our stock. Number 1, near-term operations and obviously cash flow production from La Parrilla. And then going forward, strong exposure to silver price. And then the San Diego asset, which is really our big project in our portfolio, that there's zero value in our stock today. So thank you very much. Please visit us on our website. We're at booth 313 if you want a little further discussion. And you can email our info account or chase me on LinkedIn, and I'm always happy to talk to shareholders. So thank you very much.